During World War II, the German submarine U-1206 was hiding deep beneath the North Sea. Above it, British aircraft were searching the waters. Below it, hundreds of meters of cold, dark ocean stretched into the abyss. Then, something unbelievable happened. The captain of the submarine made a simple mistake while using the toilet. He opened the wrong valve. Within seconds, seawater began flooding into the submarine. The water reached the batteries, triggering a dangerous chemical reaction that released poisonous chlorine gas. Suddenly, the crew faced a terrible choice: stay underwater and suffocate, or surface and risk being detected. They surfaced, and the moment they did, British forces spotted them. The submarine was destroyed, and most of the crew were captured. A single mistake, one wrong valve, and an entire mission was lost, because deep beneath the ocean, there is no room for error. And sometimes, the greatest enemy of a submarine isn't the enemy outside, it's human error inside. Imagine living inside a steel tube, hidden more than 300 feet below the ocean's surface. Above you is the crushing weight of millions of tons of water. Below you is endless darkness. And around you is nothing but metal. No fresh air, no sunlight, no escape. Yet submarine crews spend not days, but months living in this environment. How is that even possible? How do they get food? How do they make drinking water? Where does the oxygen come from? What happens to human waste? And what would happen if something suddenly went wrong? Welcome back to Quarry Vision Media. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating machines ever built, the submarine. Most people imagine submarines as advanced underwater ships packed with comfort and technology. The reality is very different. Life inside a submarine can feel like living inside a moving prison. Privacy barely exists. Your personal space extends only as far as your shoulders. Every corridor is narrow. Every room is crowded. And that's where the first challenge begins: claustrophobia, the fear of confined spaces. For some people, being trapped inside a submarine can trigger panic attacks, anxiety, and overwhelming stress. Heart rates rise, thinking becomes difficult, decision-making suffers. That's why navies around the world carefully screen submarine crews. Even mild signs of claustrophobia can disqualify a candidate, because down here, panic can be deadly. Then comes another challenge: sleep. If you have your own bed on a submarine, consider yourself lucky. Many submarines simply don't have enough bunks for everyone. Instead, they use a system called hot bunking. When one sailor finishes a shift and gets up, another sailor immediately takes that same bed. The mattress never gets cold. Imagine that. Even your bed isn't truly yours. And unlike life on the surface, there is no sunrise and no sunset. The ocean blocks all natural light. Without sunlight, the human body quickly loses track of time. To compensate, submarines create artificial day and night cycles using carefully controlled lighting. It's one of the few ways to help the crew maintain their mental health during long deployments. Now, let's talk about food. A submarine can leave port carrying over 20,000 kilograms of food. But here's the surprising part: there isn't enough storage space. Food is stacked everywhere, under beds, inside hallways, in every available corner. For the first few weeks, the crew enjoys fresh fruits, vegetables, milk, and other perishables. After that, it's mostly frozen and canned food. But food serves a purpose beyond survival. Deep underwater, good meals become one of the few sources of happiness. A bad menu can destroy morale. That's why some submarines even carry ice cream machines and host special steak nights. Because hundreds of feet below the surface, a good meal can make all the difference. But now we reach the most incredible part of submarine life: oxygen. A submarine is essentially a sealed metal tube. You can't open a window. You can't step outside for fresh air. So where does the oxygen come from? The answer is science. Modern submarines use a process called electrolysis. Seawater is split into oxygen and hydrogen. The oxygen is released into the submarine. The hydrogen is safely removed. Each crew member consumes around 600 liters of oxygen every day. For a crew of 130 sailors, that's roughly 78,000 liters daily. A constant supply is literally the difference between life and death. But producing oxygen creates another problem. Every breath humans take also releases carbon dioxide. If carbon dioxide levels become too high, the air becomes toxic. Headaches begin. Confusion sets in. Eventually, people can lose consciousness. To prevent this, submarines use advanced carbon dioxide scrubbers. These systems continuously remove carbon dioxide from the air. In emergencies, special chemicals like lithium hydroxide can absorb the gas and keep the crew alive. Without these systems, survival would be impossible. Then there's water. Ironically, submarines are surrounded by water, yet almost none of it is drinkable. The ocean is full of salt. Modern submarines solve this using powerful desalination systems and reverse osmosis technology. These systems transform seawater into fresh drinking water. But even then, water is treated like gold. Long showers don't exist. Every drop matters. Because in the middle of the ocean, fresh water is one of the most valuable resources on board. And what about waste? What happens when dozens of people live inside a sealed tube for months? Human waste is stored in special tanks. When conditions are safe, powerful pumps force it out into the ocean. But the process is extremely dangerous. The valves must be opened in the correct sequence. One mistake can allow seawater to rush inside with tremendous force. Exactly what happened aboard U-1206. A simple toilet error nearly became a death sentence.
But despite all the advanced technology, the biggest threat isn't lack of oxygen. It isn't food shortages. It isn't even enemy ships. The biggest threat is the human mind. Months without sunlight. Months away from family. Months surrounded by the same faces, the same smells, and the same metal walls. Depression, stress, anxiety. These become constant battles. To help combat this, submarines carefully control lighting and routines to simulate normal life. But no technology can completely replace the outside world. History has shown that even tiny mistakes can have catastrophic consequences. In October 1944, the American submarine USS Tang fired a torpedo at an enemy target. But due to a malfunction, the torpedo turned around. Instead of striking the enemy, it struck the very submarine that launched it. The result was disaster, and it served as another reminder of a harsh truth. Life aboard a submarine is not just a battle against enemies. It's a battle against isolation, a battle against machines, a battle against fear, and sometimes a battle against your own mistakes. Because deep beneath the ocean's surface, where darkness surrounds you from every direction, there is only one rule. Get it right the first time. Because down there, the price of a mistake can be death. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Quarry Vision Media.
and we'll see you in the next fascinating adventure.